Our last district manager promotion of the evening is going to Mr. Alex Funk from the North Star Division. Alex started in 2019 in the Minneapolis office. He has taught people how to sell over, and between his own sales and his office sales, 450, but that doesn't include the $4.7 million that he and Mr. Dane Espegard created this last year. You know, when I was reading through Alex's highlights, I felt the need to cut them down. And then I said, there's no way I can. You know, Alex started over winter break in 2019 and sold $20,000 in his first 2 weeks. He finished that year the #1 sales representative in the North Star Division. The following summer, he ran a branch office that sold $286,000 in St. Cloud, Minnesota. They were #8 in the company out of over 300 offices and #2 in the central region. He was promoted to division office manager in 2021. And I recall talking to Mr. Dane Espegard about what we thought was possible. And they blew out of the water what we thought was even possible. He ran the #1 office in the history of Cutco. During 2021, he led that office to their first ever Silver Cup in the new business category. That's teaching new representatives. He's personally sold over $140,000 at Cutco. He's earned 2 scholarships selling Cutco. He's earned trips to Jamaica, New York, Cabo San Lucas 2 times, the Gulf Shores, soon Maui, and Australia and New Zealand. And he's personally coached and impacted over 250 representatives in management before his 22nd birthday. Like I said before, when I grow up, Alex, I want to be like you. He loves personal growth. He loves watching sports, especially the Minnesota Falcons. He's strong in his faith in learning guitar. He's obsessed with habits and routines. I will tell you, if you want to change habits, talk to Alex Funk. He has hacked the system of having and creating good routines and habits. He really studied it really well. He enjoys all things fitness and is a fan of film. In fact, he ran a marathon. It was supposed to be outside. COVID happened. He decided to run it on a treadmill. Just to give you perspective about what a mentally tough young person this is. He bought his first home at age 20, his second home at age 21 through selling Cutco. This year, his dream is to compete in an America Ninja Warrior competition. He takes a lot of pride in his dreams list. And since creating it in 2019, he has cultivated a list of over 1,200 dreams to pursue. And he's already crossed off 120 of them. His manager, Dane, says this about Alex: he has drive and level of execution that's unmatched. And this is his competitive advantage in life. He embodies their division through his never-ending, quickly growing achievement of dreams. And they're fortunate to have a leader like Alex. I want to introduce Alex to speak on behalf of our new promotees into management. Alex, by the way, is a leader in our region. On our weekly calls, he consistently provides value and wisdom beyond his years. I see great things for Alex in and out of Vector because of his capacity to push and challenge himself and give so much to those that he serves. He is the epitome of the term servant leader, Mr. Alex Funk.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Here we go. Come on. I see you, Bert. All right. For those wondering, the beard was the January project. That's why the sales report is a little bit down. So I've been working on it. But okay. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I really do. I better set my timer because there we go. But no, I appreciate the opportunity to talk. I love the region. I love the company. As I reflected on growth, which is what I'm honored to have been asked to talk about, I thought about my growth. I thought about my growth from who I was 3 years ago at Yeb. I think I was the only person in the room wearing khakis and basically sneakers. So I've grown a little bit from there. I have glasses now. I thought about our office growing to heights that has never happened before. I thought about our company's growth over the past couple of years. But I really found myself circling back to a couple of things. Pain leading to pleasure is to me growth. And this is something I've had the opportunity to learn a little bit more about. I've been reading a great book, but pleasure cannot cure pain. Pleasure, happiness cannot cure pain or struggle. This is, I think, one of the largest misconceptions that we have as people. Pleasure can't cure pain because they both exist at the same time on the same spectrum. So this was in a book. It was The Joy of Living. I'm not a philosopher like Eliot. My ACT scores marvel those of Mike Dowd. But I will say this: people often say rainy days make you appreciate the sunny days. The truth is, really, we can't have rainy days. We can't have sunny days without rainy days. They wouldn't exist. This is duality. We can't have pain without pleasure. We can't have highs without lows. We can't have good without bad. We can't have life without death. So the problem, it's not the presence of pain. The problem usually is the inability to see the purpose of the pain in the moment. So one misconception that I feel like we often have is that we in life think that people who are usually happy don't have any pain, the absence of pain. And that's, I think, why there's a lot of people in the world on the Zoom maybe that aren't happy. Happiness isn't how good we feel, it's why we feel good. And so the truth is that pain is what serves us. This is growth. And it not only serves us, but it's crucial. And it's the essential reason that we even have the opportunity to feel happiness and pleasure. And so think about somebody in your life that just goes through the motions. What is that person lacking? It's the highs and it's the lows, but the highs aren't there without the lows. And so I think that's what I appreciate so much about this job and the company. Frankly, something that I don't know if I would have seen if the small town kid in me wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to find the company, but more so the company find me and pursue me and hold on to me. We don't get to know in the moment what pain is for. And imagine if you put your hand on a hot stove, you'd feel the pain because your body is saying, take your hand off the stove or it's going to disintegrate. But our emotional lives, they aren't different than that, except for one key thing. We don't know the consequence or the reward for what our pain is leading us towards. And it's because of this that usually we see pain as an opposition to our happiness rather than the key component that creates it. And so a lot of times in life, I feel that we avoid pain. And when we avoid pain, we avoid the opportunity to feel pain, and we miss the growth. And I feel like this is why a lot of times we don't take risks. I could be wrong. I would not be offended if somebody said, Alex, I feel like this doesn't make any sense. But it's my belief that pleasure and happiness, it comes from pain, and pain is growth. And so in closing, how do I think this is relevant for a Cutco banquet or a sales banquet? Maybe you're not in sales at all. I think it's relevant because pain is unavoidable in the work that we do. And we as salespeople, especially, we don't get to show up, put our brains on a shelf, clock in, clock out. And I'm not saying that anybody who does that is less of a person than me. All I'm saying is our valleys, our lows can be lower, and our exposure to pain, it can be greater. And our lows being lower gives us the simple fact and the truth that we get to scale mountains that most people will never see. And I appreciate all of the challenges. I appreciate the lows, the bad sales weeks, I appreciate I want to quit and go get a regular job moments, because I have now seen the mountain. I've seen, because of all those moments on top of each other, those moments, that's what leads to highs that most people just don't get to experience. And I'm really excited for what's to come. I know this isn't a Silver Cup speech, but this, I have to shout out. Dane Espegard, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to feel what the Lowe's can feel like in such a big, massive organization on such a massive scale this year. Because man, the lows were low at times, you know that, and you always pulled me up to highs that feels so good. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I'm really excited for all the highs to come. I'm excited for all the lows, all the growth that's to come. And I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I did a little search on the chat. My mom, dad, brother, and sister are all here. And I appreciate that a ton. So, nope, there we go. There's the emotion. That's growth, but thank you all.
Alex, thank you very much. You are always so humble. You are always so transparent. And I'm so excited for you and what you're going to do. Thank you for sharing your insights. Again, I mentioned that we're in direct sales. It's not, we, as it was mentioned before, you almost start your job new every day in a position like this.